Hi, and welcome to the Peak Endurance Podcast. I'm your host, Isabel Ross, and I am the coach at Peak Endurance Coaching. I can't believe it's episode 100. I'm so excited and proud to have made it this far. I never actually dreamed I would make it here to 100 episodes. To celebrate episode 100 is an interview with the person who was on my first episode ever, Nikki Wynd. Nikki and I have been friends for many years, and she was kind enough to be my first ever guest and thus helped me get the podcast started. I always love chatting with Nikki, and this interview is no different. I really hope you enjoy our very relaxed chat about running and life that was recorded a little while ago, so some of the things may be a little bit out of date. If you enjoy this episode too, please go on over to Apple Podcasts to rate, review and subscribe, or whatever platform you listen on. It really helps grow the audience and helps me get high-profile athletes on the show. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. Are injuries or niggles ruining your enjoyment of running and hindering your performance? Get on top of these by seeing the specialists at Health and High Performance. They utilise the latest in technology and have a wealth of experience, so that the team at Health and High Performance can assist you with all your running injury and performance needs, so that you can get back to enjoying your running and achieving the results you are capable of. Head to healthhp.com.au/run or find them on Instagram, Health High Performance. I seem to be having a bit of trouble talking today. I must be so excited. Health and High Performance are located in Mont Albert, Melbourne, but are also available for telehealth appointments, not only Australia-wide, but also around the world. Contact them on their website to find out more. Wild Earth Australia are the online store to help you make the most of the outdoors with top quality gear at great prices. Peak Endurance podcast listeners can use the code or discount code Peak Endurance, which is all capitals, to get 10% off at checkout. And seeing as we can't travel, great time to be spending time just out camping and having adventures. Head on over to wildearth.com.au to get everything you need for your next adventure. If you are looking to challenge your physical limits, you need to have a structured, individualised training program to help you get there. If you want to achieve your best, email me, Isabel, at peakendurancecoaching.com.au to get a program started. Now, before the main interview, Troy from Spring Energy comes on to tell us about some of the amazing gels that I love so much from Spring Energy. And you'll know I love them from my Insta stories, I'm sure. Enjoy the interview with Nikki after that little bit with Troy, and I'm sure you'll find that interesting too. And don't forget to go on over to YouTube, to my channel, to see the video of our chat. Enjoy. Okay. Hi, Nikki, and welcome to the Peak Endurance Podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Now, this is episode 100, and I thought we would celebrate with a bottle of champagne. And I thought I would have you on because you were my first interviewee ever. So, and that was August 2019, which was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I can't believe it's that long ago. And yeah, it was a thrill for me. You asking me to be your first person. So I'm glad I can come back and share a bottle of champagne with you.
Because we were drinking then.
Yes.
Not that that's all we do, but that's all we do. And I do recall I had questions for you and everything. And we did the podcast and I was like, wow, that was really long and that was really good. And how awesome was that? And it felt like it went for a long time. It went for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think it was just because I was so nervous it seemed to go forever. But you were awesome and everybody loved it. So I thought, get you back on, celebrate, talk about what we've done, and which is probably pretty much nothing. So I sort of got this ready because I'm not very good at opening the champagne. So I'll open it now. You ready?
Go for it. And I just want to say thanks for having me back. And I've actually really enjoyed listening to your podcast, some of the information, the people, I've got so much out of them and I've enjoyed listening to them. It's such a great variety of, overseas, local people, informative, and, just hearing about what others have been doing and their journeys along the way.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And that's why, people are interested in you and like I was saying to you earlier, a lot of the people I interviewed actually know you. So it's great to fulfill the circle, finish the circle, whatever it is. I don't know. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Notice how she puts more in hers than mine.
Oh, did I?
Yep, you did.
Damn, I've been caught out. That's good. That makes for great radio, drinking champagne. Or great
nice
podcasting.
And refreshing.
It is, and because I pre-chilled the glasses in the freezer, as you should. So here we are again, and we want to talk about how life has been for you since back in 2019 when we had hope for it. 2020 race calendar, and life was good, and basically life's been pretty sucky.
Yeah.
So let's talk about around August. Did you do anything towards the end of 2019 anyway?
I'm pretty sure. I think we, with the Australian team, went to the 24-hour world champs in France.
So that's right.
Yeah. So that, which looking back now, I'm so grateful. I went on that trip. I got to travel. I went to Spain. Went to France. Where else did I go? That might have been it, Spain and France, but had a really great trip. It was such a memorable time, and I didn't have the race I wanted, but still it was great to be part of the Australian team. And I think I took a lot away from that race. And I think if you go to the races and come back and things that don't go to plan, you can then look at changing and put into place for your next run you do. And then in going into 2020, I feel like I made some changes that helped me moving forward.
So, you say the race didn't go to plan. And I mean, that's the way it is with racing, is sometimes the race falls on a day where everything is awesome, and sometimes it falls on a day where nothing is awesome.
Yep.
So talk to us, what happened? In what way did it not go to plan?
Well, I think, too, I go I think for everyone, that's ultra running for you, that, you can do the same nutrition, same taper, same training, same everything, and you can have a fantastic run. And then the next time, I think for me, I felt like I'd done the training. I had a lot of stomach issues early, so I did struggle with stomach issues. I couldn't keep any food down, which is a bit of a common thing for me. One thing I was proud of, I had said to myself that I was going to stay out there 24 hours. So I did stay out there for 24 hours.
So you didn't sleep at all?
Didn't sleep, didn't stop. I walked. I actually did go to the medical tent to get checked out. And they basically said to me, the only way really for that, my stomach and everything, was just to stop. And I was like, I'm not going to stop. I just want to keep moving. And I think, I ended up with about 185 Ks, which isn't disastrous, but I was hoping to sort of go, 210 plus. So yeah.
And look, sometimes it just doesn't turn out the way you want. And I think it's good for people to hear an elite athlete like yourself who manages to turn it around and be positive about it, and doesn't sit there going, I had it, and getting depressed about it and letting that affect your future running.
Yeah.
Because that's pointless, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think you just have to, I always go into a race and take what worked, what didn't work. And, I think my training worked, and, I have had a lot of issues with stomach issues. So I've been trying to get that right. And, and I think it motivates you. So, all my plans then went into 2020, and, to have a successful 24-hour, and it really made me hungry and motivated to have a good race, after that too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's fair enough. And I think if we can use the not so good races as motivation, that definitely.
Yeah, because we all have bad races, and, it doesn't define who we are as people. No. And, I actually look back and I had such a great trip. And, especially now that we've come out of, been in lockdown, that I go, we're not traveling anywhere. So I'm just so grateful I got to travel to the other side of the world, and even hearing, Barcelona being in lockdown, and France, and thinking like we were there not that long ago.
Sorry, I was mid-sip. Don't expect me to talk when I'm drinking. And I'm a little bit the same, but I almost find that having traveled just makes me so desperate to go again. I'm really, I don't know about you, but I'm really feeling affected by not being able to travel. And it's not just about the racing. For me, it's about seeing my friends in Canada or seeing my family in Europe. So, but and it's just about traveling. I think I'm addicted to traveling.
Yeah.
So.
It's hard. I suppose I'm grateful that we got to experience that trip. And it's like, who knows? And I think that's what the scary part is. It's like, there's no guarantees even this year that we'll be traveling.
I mean, the international travel ban is meant to be lifted middle of March. I don't like the chances of that happening.
Yeah.
I think, we'll be, I'm planning to get to the States by September.
So fingers crossed
Yeah.
that things start
we'll
opening
see.
then.
We'll see, you know, for a race, the Barclay Fall Classic.
Yeah.
But if not, I'm hoping that I could at least get to Canada to visit my friends.
Yeah.
So what plans did you originally have for 2020 that were dashed?
So the races I did do were, I did Hut to Hut, the 100K,
That's
which
right.
was Feb last year. So, and that for me was just totally doing something. I tend to do road track races. So just totally doing something different. And to me, it was a lot of fun.
affected too by the bushfires,
Yes,
wasn't it?
correct.
It wasn't the standard course. And there we were thinking, oh my God, the bushfires were the worst thing that could ever possibly happen. And they were bad. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But holy moly, we didn't know what we were in for.
Yeah, and I think that was mid-Feb, so it probably wasn't that long before COVID hit. And then I had Coburg 24-hour planned, and then obviously that didn't go ahead. I had Last Man Standing in Brisbane. That didn't go ahead. I had Australian 24-hour in Canberra, which was sort of really touch and go. And then I think a week before that was due to happen was when we went into that stage 4 lockdown. So the flip side of that was I did get to do a virtual 24, which took a lot of planning and a lot of effort, but, you know, I had a really good run, and it was good just to even get on the track and do that.
Yeah, and it would have given you something to look forward to as much as you can for a 24-hour track race, but something to work towards and have.
Yeah, and, you know, it's hard because I go, you train like a lot of people, you train for an event, and it's like you can't keep training and peaking.
No, that's right.
And, you know, I like to train, race, have a recovery, and then sort of build again for my next race. So that going ahead was really good because I felt like I'd trained hard, and probably I was lucky that with COVID I actually got to spend more time training and
that's
working from home. I just had that little bit more time that I could factor in, you know, my training around my work day, and, you know, there was no sport after school for my son and bits and pieces. So I was like, for me, I actually have to say, like, COVID wasn't that bad. So I survived,
and, you know,
it.
and there's nothing wrong with saying that, because we all have different experiences of the same event, and it's not always negative for everyone. And in as much as it was quite negative for me, it wasn't all negative. And sorry, how many kilometers did you end up with at that one?
209.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I agree with you about the peaking and then recovering, because what I certainly find for 2020 was, you know, I'd been getting ready for Barclay, and then I kind of had a little bit of a rest, but not really. I didn't end up racing. So I kind of have trained the whole year with no peak, but thus no recovery and no break. And I think the breaks are not just good physically, but also mentally.
Yes.
To have a break from running.
Definitely. And I find for me, probably it's not so much the physical, it's the mental, because so much preparation and time and effort and planning, and, you know, like it's a day in, day out almost, you know, 24/7, you're living, you're training,
your lifestyle is running,
and that's what it is. And I go, like, you get to the point of going, like, I know for me it's like I need a break from this, you know. I go, because you can't keep doing it, and you know, whether it's I want to stay up late and have a few drinks, or
I do that anyway.
You do, you know, you need that downtime, and that's why I think, you know, when you race, you actually look forward to that downtime, and
I look forward to just not running or not having a plan per se.
Exactly. And even if it's just, you know, I know we've gone out hiking, and let's go for a hike and go for a walk and just do different stuff, because I go, it's just that strict routine of a training plan that is nice not to have to do.
It is. And I certainly for myself find I didn't do that, and I got really burnt out just before Christmas myself, and I was just over it, and I just did some cycling for a week. And in saying that, I just got a friend of mine, he's just fixed my bike. It's ready to go, and I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to do a little bit more mountain biking just to break up the running a bit, because once again I haven't had a break. But after my FKT I will. So you did that track race, and you did that under lockdown, but with all legality, because you ticked all the boxes and made sure it was 100% legal, and the police even visited a couple of times to make sure everything was legit, and they were happy, weren't they?
Yeah. So obviously it was during stage 3 lockdown. So we had received information in regards to, like, you know, if you elite sports people still being able to, you know, train. So, you know, and if you represented your country at a national level, you were considered elite. So we ticked all the boxes, and as far as the race, we were part of Matt's race in Canberra. We had like official timing. We had GoPro for 24 hours. We had, like lap scorers. So we actually had people sitting there for 24 hours manually counting every single lap.
Oh, God, what a horrible job. Imagine
I know.
What was that, 99 or 100? I can't remember.
And it was freezing cold. And yes, the police came twice and they saw it was all above board and were fine. And I think too, like, I felt lucky that I was able to be there. I was doing what I love.
Yeah.
And then when the police come, I'm like thinking, please don't stop this. Like, I just wanted to get it done. And even going back to my race in France, it didn't go to plan. It really motivated me to have a really good run. And, we had no crowd, no people watching. Like, it was just John Yoon and myself out there on the track 3 a.m, just doing it for ourselves.
Sounds awesome.
No, it was fun. It was good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, actually, I can imagine, like, as I know a lot of people say, how can you run around a track? And I've only done one 24-hour, but I do actually see the appeal. I truly do. So anything else? Did you do anything else? Did you do any, running around your backyard or your kitchen table?
That is one thing.
Not 6,000 laps at your kitchen table, Nikki. I'm a bit disappointed.
You will never, ever catch. That's one thing I say.
Neither me.
Shoot me now, because I go, nah. I'm like, I love running around a 400-meter track, but
that's small enough.
Yes, I'm not going to run around my backyard. Even when we had the 1 hour a day, like I just went, it is what it is. I'll do my 1 hour a day. And even I saw that as a bit of a chance to, take
Cut
it
back
easy.
a bit.
Sort of rest up. And yes, I didn't do anything crazy. I'm trying to think if I did any virtual. I don't even think I did any virtual races.
To be honest,
actually.
I did the Hocker one at the start of the first lockdown. But after that, I just was like, I just couldn't be asked, quite frankly.
So that was and then in December we went to the prom, so that was awesome.
Right. That was awesome.
So that was like my second real race for the year, which we had a great weekend, and I think it was like, oh my God, we're finally out of lockdown and we can travel, we can run, we're with our friends, and
it was just so good being part of the community again. Like, I didn't have the best race because my calf was bloody killing me. But it was just so good to see people. And it was such a glorious day in the sun and the sea. And
it was. And just, catching up with people we hadn't seen all year. And I think everyone felt the same. I loved it. Like, I soaked up so much of just being out there, and the prom's such a beautiful place.
It is.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, no, I do agree. So, and then of course we swept at 2 bays.
We did, which was fun as always.
Love that.
That was great.
What I really love, and I find the next day when I went into work, and I work as a PT, so I've got to call out to people, I'd lost my voice from cheering at 2 bays, because we would be sweeping and running, and people would be running towards us. We'd be sweeping their backs and on the return, other people, and we'd be cheering because we could see their names on their bibs. And, and it was so much fun. And they'd always get a fright when we said their name, because they're like, how did she know our name?
No, it's such a fun. Like, I can't even tell how many years I've swept now, but I just go, the atmosphere, the people, and once again, I go, it was a race is on. Like, people are running and
happy and miserable, but happy.
And I go, that's a running community for you. I think everyone was just so rapt to be back out there running and supporting each other. And it was a really, really fun day.
It was an awesome day. And I have to admit, one thing, when I was in Canada, like, I was happy to be in Canada, but I do remember at the time spewing that I couldn't help sweep with 2 bays. That was really the only thing I missed.
Well, there is like a wait list to get on that sweep team.
Oh, so it's exclusive, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's very
That's
exclusive.
Right. We're very lucky.
Well, there's enough of us, so honestly, we don't need more, do we? But it's always good fun, and everyone's such a great bunch.
It is. There. It's an awesome day.
Yeah. So now, going into this year, you had plans to, oh my God, you had plans.
Yeah, wow.
Million plans. Tell us about the million plans and all the race entries you've lost, and the flights and accommodation and all that other jazz.
I think I've got to the
Do you need more alcohol to get through this?
I think we might need to open another bottle.
I think so.
Yeah, so, so my goal race for this year was Delirious West. So
that's a 200 miler.
Yep. So 350 Ks, point
on
to
the
point.
trails, not your wheelhouse.
I know. So I was stepping out of my comfort zone,
Good
doing something different.
Yeah.
So from Northcliffe to Albany. So, you know, and I've like trained really hard. I thought I was having, I had a really good block of training, and, you know, it was always going to be touch and go because the Perth borders were
God,
closed.
they open and close on the whim.
Yeah, so
on the flick
the race,
of a dime.
10th of Feb, and I think it was like a week before, or it was actually the Friday before, they said, beauty, the borders are open. So the craziest thing was, had flights, cancelled flights, borders open, rebook flights. Then the next day they went back into lockdown. So yeah. So that, and then because of they had a 5-day lockdown, they ended up cancelling the race. So
postponing it, didn't it?
Yeah. So once that was sort of out of our control, it was like, well, this isn't going to go ahead. So I've deferred my entry to next year because
So you're not going to do the October version?
No. So I've actually signed up to do 6-day race in Adelaide in similar time. So I thought, you know what, I'll just roll it over to next year because I'm keen to do the course, and so we'll go with that.
I'm to be honest, I'm a little surprised that you're, in a good way, that you're wanting to take on 200 miles of trails, because when I first met you, you were a trail runner.
I know.
Nikki was a very good trail runner. Not that you're not now.
No, I'm not. It's okay. You can say that. I know I'm not. It's okay.
Well, you do get a little bit nervous.
I know. It's okay.
And you get more nervous when I go, no, run really fast down this hill, and then I trip and Superman off down the trail.
And I'm like, that's why I don't run fast.
And I'm like, it's only blood. No, you're not mad keen on the trails anymore because you have spent a lot of time on the track. So what has made you want to get back onto the trails? It's to run with me, isn't it?
I think it is. Yeah, and to train with you.
That's
and
right.
Good excuse to get out and train.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, I just think to do something different. And, you know, I've spoken to people who've done that race and they just say it's life-changing. It's amazing.
Oh, really? Life-changing? I might have to do it.
Yeah.
See what changes occur.
Know, and I did hear it is sort of fire trail. It's not super technical.
Yeah,
so I think it will sort of probably
it's no GSER trails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's no massive elevation or anything. So I just sort of
in
thought
saying that,
something
you're
different.
really good at hills.
Yeah,
you are good at hills.
Yeah, so I just thought something different. But in saying that, because Delirious didn't go ahead, I have signed up for Canberra 48 Hour.
Oh, good Lord.
So back on the track in 6 weeks. Yeah. So now I will shift my trail Delirious training to more of a track road, you know, so that's only 6 weeks away. So that's what I'm training for at the moment.
That's good. Well, I would come out and train on the track with you, but I'm training for something different.
Okay, that's right. Yeah.
To be honest, we used to train on the track together, and we used to have so much fun. We do a 60K. We did once, remember, the night run, and then we went to the pancake parlour at about 2 a.m.
We did.
After and we were training at Knox Track. And there was a party going on at someone's house. And every time you'd come around, you'd hear them all drinking. And I'm thinking, why the heck am I not? I almost swore. Why the heck am I not at that party drinking? Instead, I'm running around this bloody track.
Yeah, I don't know. I find it's weird, but I go, I do find the track therapy. It's like it's therapeutic. And I go, I can put my headphones on. I don't have to watch my feet. I don't have to carry a pack. I can zone out.
I to be honest, and I love it because pardon me, I can't trip over. Sorry, the champagne's a bit bubbly. I can't trip over, although knowing me, I probably could. But I can't trip over. I can't get lost. I can't lose my crew.
That's right.
I can't get that fear when you haven't seen a ribbon for a while going, oh, my God, where am I going?
You can just zone out.
You can zone out.
There's always stuff going on.
One foot after the other.
So, you know, and I always say to everyone, you should at least do 1 24-hour.
Yeah. And it's different to a 6 or a 12-hour, can I say?
Exactly.
I've done a 6-hour, and that was too hard because you've got to run so hard.
That's right, exactly. And it's like flat stick from the start. Where at 24, you can run, you can walk, you can stop, you can
because even a 12-hour is a little bit faster.
Exactly.
And you don't get the full range of going from day to night to day. So I think the 24-hour, 48-hour.
Imagine 48. No, you get to experience
twice
of that.
Yeah, no, I'm all good with that. well, I mean, I probably should do one because my
You
FKT,
Yeah.
I want it to go for, well, it's probably going to go for 60 hours. So maybe one day
Yeah.
I will give it a crack. Why not? Like, you know, I mean, I want to give another 24-hour go because I got 198.7 kilometers and I would have loved to have,
Yeah.
you know,
Crack the 200.
1.3 kilometers off 200. How devastating.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's just so many races and so many things to do.
And I think it's hard though at the moment because I just feel, you know, every time you start, even Canberra, like I go,
is it going to go ahead?
Exactly. And then I go, you train and, you know, it's been nice. I have had a bit of an easy week, but I go, now it's like all systems to go for Canberra. Then it's like, is it going to go ahead? And, you know.
Have you heard about Canberra having any lockdowns? Like,
no. So we can still travel there. So.
But what? Anyway, don't get me started on
so
why
anyway,
we.
So fingers crossed. I go, it goes ahead.
Yeah.
And then, you know, like I think we just have to wait and see what happens and how the rest of the year pans out.
And are you planning still to do the 6-day in Adelaide?
Yep. So
because if 48 hours isn't long enough, you've got to go for
we'll
6
go
days.
6 days. Why not?
So do you sleep much during that?
Look, I think the plan would be sleep like not all night, but maybe like 4 hours a night. Like I think you can't go 6 days without sleeping.
No, God, no.
And I think you need to sleep when it's dark, like in your normal sleep patterns.
Yeah.
You know.
So is it like that Transcendence one in New York where you have to be off the course?
No. So you sleep when you like.
So you could go
the
whole time if you wanted to.
You could, like if you didn't want to sleep, you could go the whole time. But I just think
I don't think that would be possible.
And I think it's going to catch up with you at the end. And I think too, you know, even if you're going to have 4 hours sleep a night, and I think try and sleep whether that's midnight till 4 a.m. or you know.
And so would you do it like with you taught me with the 24-hour track racing was to start walking from the beginning, which was embarrassing for me at first, but you know, I ended up winning, so clearly it worked.
Yeah.
So would you sleep the first night?
Yeah, I reckon.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking you should.
Yeah. And that's what, because I always think you don't need to sleep the last night.
No,
because
the last night is the night you can do the night.
That's right.
But I reckon there'd be many people that go, I'm not going to sleep until the third night, and then they're screwed.
Exactly. So I think from the start, you know, and I've got some friends, Stephen Redfern, very good, you know, experienced runner, John Yoon. So, you know, we talk strategies and, you know, we've talked about potentially going, this is the target kilometers I want to hit per day. Once I hit that, I then sleep.
Yes.
You know,
okay.
so
what if you don't hit that?
Well, look, I think the targets, obviously early doors are pretty, you should be able to hit them in 24 hours.
Like, can I ask?
You know, like 130, 140.
Okay,
like we're not talking 200. So, you know, and that sort of thing, you know, so then once you hit that target, you then go, well, that's my sleep. And then you reset every day. So you treat it as 6 24-hour races.
I like that.
Yeah.
And 130, around 130, 140 is a manageable distance because you can't go at the same pace that you would go a normal 24-hour when you're going for 6 days.
I really think it's going to be like run, walk. Like just, you know, whether you're running 5 minutes, walking 5 minutes. Like it's just, I think you just got to keep moving and, you know, get to your target. Obviously the guys have a higher target and then you go, you know, I get to have my sleep then. And, you know, too, like even we said you could bank the first 2 days together and have 8 hours. So you might sort of go, you know, it might take you 20 hours, but then you could have like a big sleep.
Fair point.
Yeah. And then like we said, the last night, you know, you're not going to sleep. Like I think you're going to go, you'll be on adrenaline.
And it's one night left.
Exactly. So you sort of feel like then, but I think you need to bank that sleep till then because I think if you don't, like could be pretty ugly.
So before, say, a 24-hour or a 48-hour, the week or two before, are you banking sleep then?
I just try to make sure I'm in bed early. I get a really good sleep, you know, like I really, probably at least a week before I sort of, you know, getting into bed early, sleeping in. You're obviously not training as much. So, you know, like say if I get up and run early, I might be able to get up at 7 and run, you know. So I really try to have a really good week of just really, you know, good sleep, sleeping in. Because you never sleep well the night before. I go, that's a given for any race.
See, I don't have too much trouble. Most times.
I never sleep well. So I sort of go, as long as and, you know, I'm pretty lucky. Like I feel I'm okay. Like I've done my 48 hours with no sleep.
God.
So I think I'm okay. But I think you need to be, I think even just well rested, like get off your feet up, you know, eating really good food, hydrated and all those little things come into it, as well as the sleep. So it's sort of everything.
Yeah, I mean, before GSEI, which I did, it was 44 hours, so fairly similar. Yeah, I did much the same.
Yeah, yeah.
I just tried to just not set an alarm for getting up, just wake up when I wake up.
Yeah. And I think all that, it's just like being in that really well-rested state makes a difference, you know, and your hydration and food and everything, you know. And
really good advice.
Yeah, set yourself up, you know. And I always think too, like carb load, like set yourself up the best possible.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't talk about carb loading. They say it's not what to do anymore. Are you a believer in carb loading?
Like for me, I don't eat a lot. Like probably my day today, I'm not a big carb eater, but I believe leading into a race that if your stores are full, I don't eat carbs for 5 days leading into a race, but the last couple of days I do.
Oh, so you cut back on carbs and then you load up.
Yeah. You know, and I find, you know, like say my race was Saturday, Thursday, I just like tend to stuff myself.
Yes.
But then Friday, I tend to just eat normal.
You are exactly the same as me.
Yep.
That is what I do. And I believe in carb loading.
I do too.
And it's fallen out of favour, but I think people don't want to be seen to be doing something that I don't know. I don't understand why people are against carbs.
Yeah, no, well, I go, you know what? I believe in it. I believe it works for me. And then I go, if you start, you know, your carbs, your energy levels are full and your carb stores are high, then, you know, you then sort of need to top up. You're not trying to catch up. So,
I totally
I've
agree.
Always been a big
and I find like a couple of races where I really carb loaded like a lot, like I was experimenting, like carb load a bit and carb loaded a lot and really ate till I was full. I had my best races.
Yeah, you do. I agree. Like I've done the same. And I think you want to hit that start line feeling your best, like the most energy. And, you know, and even it's interesting, John Yoon, who's a very accomplished runner and 24-hour runner, he actually has said to me, because he was going to Delirious West with me, he actually wanted to be a few kilos heavier than normal. Because he goes over that race, that was going to be like 70 hours of running. He actually went in there going, I want to be 2 or 3 kilos heavier than my normal weight because I'm just going to burn that off.
And that is so true.
I think that makes sense. Yeah.
It does make sense. And also when you've got all those carbs in you, you're actually storing a lot more water, which you're going to need.
Yep.
You know, I know it sounds ridiculous. We're not camels, but it still does help.
Yeah. No, I agree. So.
Oh, that's good. And do you caffeine deplete?
No, I love my coffee. I couldn't survive without my coffee, but
I've tried, but it doesn't. No. I'm miserable.
Yeah, but I still, you know, I'm a big believer even during a race. Like I try to hold off on say during the 24. And that's like a reward or a bit of a treat to me. So I'll try to get through to like, you know, midnight, 1 or 2 in the morning. And then it's like I get to have my coffee. Yeah. And it's like, you know, get to there. And then it's a reward for getting that far. And I really look forward to it. And then I sort of keep on the caffeine. And I love it. So I always look forward to it.
Do you ever find any adverse effects from caffeine?
No, I can't say I do.
Caffeine consumption? Oh,
no,
I do.
No, actually, touch wood. Yeah. No.
Okay. Yeah, because there's only so much caffeine I can have, and then my body rejects it.
Yeah. No, I find like I go, God, some races I go between iced coffee, you know, coffee, hot coffee, no dose, Coke.
Wow.
Like,
See, even on a normal day today, whatever, I can only have 3 cups. If I have more, I get a migraine. Or not a migraine. I don't get migraines. A headache. Yeah. To me, that headache is a migraine. Yeah. So if I drink even too much coffee, just normally like 1 sip more, I get an instant headache. Yeah. But so my limit is 3 cups. So that's why I can't. I remember one race, Gully, that's a friend of ours, was crewing me for Alpine Challenge. I think it was my 2nd time. And I'd had so much caffeine with gels, my heart was palpitating bad because my body just doesn't cope with it.
Wow. Yeah, no, I find I'm okay with it. Yeah. I know some races I've struggled to eat, and for whatever reason, I've been sculling iced coffees to the point, probably because I'm thirsty, that I don't know how.
And that's milk.
I know, but I go, I've sculled them and they go down so well. And it's like I've lived on, just finished the race on cold iced coffee.
There's sugar, caffeine, protein, carbs, some fat. I'm assuming you drink full fat milk. Yeah. Oh, so it's got everything you need. Mm-hmm. It's a pity I hate milk.
But I tell you, I have survived some races just having that. Yeah. And it's good.
Yeah, no, that's, well, give it a try, listeners. You never know. That might work for you. And I'm sure some of them do try. Have you tried things like V or Monster?
No, I've never been into the energy drinks.
No,
so you like, honestly, when it comes to my nutrition, like I don't always get it right, but I've got to the point of going, keep it simple, less is best. And, and even now for a 24, I feel like I can survive on minimal. So I go, people, you don't need to be shoving food and heaps of different food.
It's not a picnic.
It's not, and I go, our bodies can survive 24 hours on minimal. So, I think the less complicated you keep it, the less stomach issues and stuff you're going to have.
And, in saying that with your milk, when I was racing in Canada, when I did really well nutrition-wise, I was using like a protein drink. And consuming more liquids. Liquids are way easier for the body to handle than solid foods, and even easier than gels. Because although I'm sure the iced coffee had lots of sugar in it, it wasn't just pure sugar like a gel is. There were other things.
And I just find like it's easy to get it down, you know, like, and I think too, because sometimes you're so thirsty, you want something to quench your thirst, and the milk really does quench your thirst. No, that's all good. And you know what? People love to hear what elite athletes like yourself are doing. Sorry, the dog's just walked in. It's nearly his dinner time. And it's interesting because you've learned a lot. How many years have you been racing? Oh, God.
Okay, we're not admitting you started when you were 5. Okay, so how many years?
No, so I think my first race was 2011. So that's 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 years.
Is that all?
Yeah, 2011 was my first race.
Oh, my God, so I've been racing longer than you.
Yeah, so Maroondah Dam was my first race.
Maroondah Dam was my first trail race too.
There you go. So, 10 years, But
it was before that.
But I was a total, like, really didn't know anything about running.
I was the same. I wasn't a runner. I'd come from a mountain biking background. And I remember doing the Maroondah Trail run the night before, freaking out, like whether I'd be in a lot of pain or not, pushing hard. And I ended up winning it.
There you go.
Yeah. Was yours the 30K the first time?
50.
Oh my God. So you went straight to, no, I did the 30.
No, actually, I think it was 2010 because I think I did Oxfam. Yeah, 2010 I think was my first. So I did Oxfam, and that was like as a training run for Oxfam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I think the first time I did the 50 was in 2012, and you were doing it too. You won and I came second, and it was the training race for me for UTA.
Okay.
100.
Yep. Yeah. So, there you go.
Yeah, Maroondah
Back
Dam.
on the trails.
Yes. Yeah, and you beat me.
I know. Well, I know. I used to run on the trails.
That's right. You were good on the trails.
I know. Yes. Anyway.
Yeah, and that comes down to, once again, specific training. So you race on track, so you train specifically for track. And it's like anything. It's like when I don't ride the mountain bike for a while, I lose my mountain biking legs. If you don't run on the trails, why you lose your trail running capabilities?
It's true. And, and I suppose for me, like, I'm very specific. So if I'm doing a track run, not that I go and train on the track the whole time, but I don't need to be up in the mountains. I don't need to be on the trails. And, so it makes sense to do my training, bike path, road, track, whether it's something like even the Warby Trail, like flat, straight, so you do lose your confidence when you don't get out on the trails much. So, and that's why, probably Delirious, I just thought it was a chance to have a break from those track and road races and do something different and, try to get a bit of excitement and change my training up and everything.
And I think that's really important because the body plateaus and I think changing things up.
And it keeps it exciting. It's exciting to do hills and hike and get my poles out and doing different things. It's fun instead of running around a track as much as I love it. Yeah,
that's right. And look, even I race trail and mountain ultras, but I train on the road a lot. I really only do 1 to 2 runs a week on the trails. All the rest is on the road because as awesome as the trails are, you can't get your speed working.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't keep your cadence as high. You can't keep your leg speed.
And there's even time sometimes too.
Even for me, close to the trails. 30Ks in the trails, it takes a lot longer than 30Ks on the road.
Yep, exactly. It's
Sorry,
true.
that's champagne.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And so obviously We're not probably going to be able to travel this year, So are you hoping to keep being at an elite level for 24-hour track races, say into 2022?
2020. Do you know what? It's funny because I go, honestly, probably not. Like I go, like I love the 24-hour track races. And I don't know, like I feel like I want to do some different things and different races, and like I can't see there being any 24-hour world champs this year, like they've been postponed. So then that's going to be 2 years down the track, and I go, do I really want to be focused on 24 hours? Then probably not.
So what would you do instead?
I don't know, like I like training for fun, and that's why I think these longer races and the trail races are more fun. I know that.
So when you say you like training for fun, would you train to the level that you do if there were no races?
Let me think. Like I suppose at the moment,
I mean, that question was kind of answered with lockdown last year, and I did continue training, but that was with the hope of races coming back.
I think I would keep training, and I think I would keep running. Like at the moment, I've got Canberra 48 hour. I know,
but if suddenly you decided you didn't want to race anymore, would you train 6 to 7 days a week still?
Do you know what? I think I would still do something every day. Yes. That might be a walk. It might be a spin class. It might be, a run every second. Like I love being active. Yes. I love being fit and healthy. I don't think I would, like I'm very regimented, and I'm very much, like I follow a program, I stick to my program, I tick off my Ks per week. And I like that because I like getting up in the morning, knowing what I need to do. But then I also like it when, I'm not training for something, I can do whatever I want. So if I wasn't training for an event, I think I'd still keep fit.
Do you know what? I see us, Nikki, still in our 70s, still banging out the kilometres.
Hiking the hills.
And that's what
I think. Like, I think I'd do more fun stuff. Like, hey, let's meet up. We'll go for a walk in the hills for an hour.
Or, but you can do a hiking adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
These multi-day, there's so much diversity in trail and ultra running.
And that's maybe why I think, looking at something like Delirious, I don't see that as competitive. And
So would you have been gunning for the win?
Well, I would have liked to have won.
Yes, okay. So you would have been. And there's nothing wrong with admitting that.
And I suppose, too, like when I race at the moment, like you go there to, whether it's not win but place and get a really good result, because I feel like you put the hard work into your training, you want a good result. Yeah. And, I go, but I think sometimes like those races, something like a Delirious, like, I was talking to Stephen Redfern about this, and I go like, going to a 48 hour where you can get like an Australian title or a world record, whereas a race like a Delirious, it's just a run.
That's right. Yeah.
So I think with time, it's more about the experience and going out, like you say, doing those hiking and and they're more of an adventure. And I think as you get older, you leave that for the youngers to do the, the PBs.
I have to admit, I'm sort of thinking more, it's more an fun. Adventure. I want adventures.
And that's how I feel like, like even when we did our Regain last year, I go, that was
it was 2019.
Day. Was that 2019?
Yeah, because we've wiped 2020 off the memory
2019,
banks.
But I go, that to me was, I go, that's what I love doing. Yeah. Like it's the friendships, it's the experience of the fun, there's no pressure. And I go, I think you get to a point of going, that's what's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Instead of the pressure of, and I think sometimes it's other people's expectation of, they expect you to get a result.
Yes, I know.
You don't want to get
I find that hard sometimes going into races and you see, I mean, it hasn't happened for a while, but, write-ups and that sort of stuff. And you go, oh, my God. And as soon as I see that sort of stuff,
and sometimes
I don't do so well.
Yeah, exactly. And there's sometimes that pressure. And I think it's nice just to be able to go into a race and just enjoy yourself and, just go there to have fun. Because sometimes you don't want to go there and have to run hard and you just want to experience it.
Without the pressure, running hard is still fun.
Oh, exactly. Yep.
Without the pressure of I have to run hard, but I just want to run hard.
Yeah.
That can still be fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think your goals change like as you get older and,
Not that we're old.
No, we're not old, but, there's other young ones that can do
that's
that
right.
now.
Yeah, they can take up that.
Exactly.
And do that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Your priorities change.
They
your
do,
interest in different things change. And I don't think it's just age. It's also time spent doing the
But
sport.
also too, like we're 10 years in, and I go, honestly, I don't know many other.
Well, I'm more than 10 years.
Well, you're
in.
more 10, but I go, I don't know many other people, females, who are probably still around from when we started.
No, that's
when you
right.
think
And you
about
think
it,
that longevity, that's testament, and I'm not trying to be bragging, but testament to our good training and
exactly.
and good lifestyle choices, because we've both had our children grow up whilst we're training.
Yeah.
I myself, my children were quite young when I was getting into it, and I'm, you know, was representing Australia and traveling overseas, which was really, really hard to negotiate how to get that to happen and to juggle everything. And, you know, no offense to the guys out there, but they don't really understand how
it's
difficult
hard.
it is. You know, that it's you can't just go, well, I'm going off and doing a race.
Yeah, see you later.
Because a lot of men who have kids can do that.
Yeah.
Whereas women, it's different. Even in these enlightened, and I'm using air quotes here, enlightened days, it still falls to the woman to do everything.
And it's the planning and preparation.
Yeah, it's
and
the plan. Oh my
and...
God, I used to find it so mentally draining planning, because I would go away to Europe for 2 weeks, and I'd have to have every meal in the freezer, everything planned, timetable written out. This is what the kids are doing. This is what's happening. They're going here, they're going there, they're doing this. It was so exhausting just getting that ready.
Yeah.
And then ringing every night and hearing the children cry. You know, so it's tough. So we've had to grow through that and move through that. And, you know, there's a lot of people who have babies and come back and do all their training. And it's great because they maybe have someone really supportive and helpful. And also in saying that it's a lot easier when they're babies, you know.
And it is quite interesting when you look back and go, we've been there and done that.
Yeah, we've been there. Oh, my God.
We survived.
We survived.
It's
actually.
And there wasn't even videos. And
no, there was nothing. I couldn't post on Instagram, you know, about going out for a run with my, you know. And so, you know, we just knuckled down and we did it.
Because you had to. You didn't
because you had to, and you didn't have quite the same support that's around these days. I mean, I still think it's awesome that women are having babies and getting back into it. But, you know, it's one of those things that has been going on forever. And for women to be more involved in sport, we need more support for them and for people to see the value of women in sport, and not just, well, if you can organise the kids, then you can go and do your sport kind of thing, you know? And I think we are starting to see better things with that, but certainly a lot more work needs to be done there. And I think we both did the hard yards in that regard, but now we're footloose and fancy free.
I just have to say, Izzy was my idol. When I first started running, it was all about Izzy. And I go,
really?
Yeah, and I go, she was like my idol. And then one day she spoke to me and I was like, oh my God, Izzy spoke to me.
Really? Because I always thought you were such a better runner
and
than me.
And then now I go, like, it's so nice.
It's just Izzy.
And it's just Izzy. But I go, when you look back and I go, the journey.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, I go, Izzy was my idol. And
I can't imagine why, because I
always
amazing. Felt like such a faker.
No, you were good.
Yeah. Well, so were you. You were good. I can still remember Great Ocean Walk. And because I came second at that, I forgot, oh my God, whatever her name, she came first. She came down from Sydney, and you came in third. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I beat Nikki. I was like, no, that's not possible. I couldn't have beaten Nikki.
So funny. Yeah.
And it's funny because I thought you had been in racing longer than me, and yet I've been in racing longer than you.
No, you were my idol when I first started. I was like, do you know Izzy? I was like, I know her, but I don't know her. I know who she is, but she doesn't talk to me.
Oh God. Yeah, you weren't good enough. I'm sorry.
I know it wasn't. I was like a nothing. So.
Oh, what a lot of rubbish. No, well, you have taught me so much. And with the 24-hour track racing, and I'm getting Nikki to pace me for a portion of my FKT, the road section, because Nikki is so good. She's really supportive and she encourages without being mean, and she's really good on flat roads, obviously, but like she'll encourage me, okay, just run to that next person. I'll be whinging and sulking and carrying on like a pork chop. But she just stays calm, and so you're just amazing like that. So I have learned so much from you and gained so much from you. So, you know, I think it's been a
really good friendship.
Yeah, it has been a great friend. We are lucky, and it's, you know, and it's, it's interesting because certainly when I was in mountain biking, very male dominated sport, you know, I had some girlfriends, but not so much. And running, when I first got into it, all I ran with were men because I didn't know any women that would run that much. You know, so it's been great to have another strong female to run with and train with and to bounce ideas off. We don't even have to, we might not see each other for a couple of weeks. We're messaging and bouncing ideas and, you know.
No, I totally agree. I say that to people all the time. I'm like, you're the only female I can run with.
Yeah, that's right. And who understands it. So I think, you know, whether you're male or female, it's great to have that person in your life that you can share the experience with, whether it's your partner or whether it's a friend or, you know, it can be a multitude of people, but there's so
but I think
much to be gained from that.
In ultra running, it's such a male-dominated sport. And I was always the same, like you only ever run with guys. So it's so nice to have a female, because we obviously talk about different stuff than when you go running with a guy. So it's nice to have that, you know.
Although you can burp more freely in front of the guys because that's normal. Not that we burp, of course.
Not that Nikki don't. Anyway, we won't talk about Izzy.
I'm all style and grace. No, and it is different. And you know, as I think it's awesome to have, and that's why I want to encourage more females to get into the sport, you know, and in saying that ultra running is a male-dominated sport like mountain biking was, when I was in mountain biking, the men were always super encouraging. And in ultra running, the men have all been super encouraging. And it's awesome, but it is still nice to have women around.
It is, exactly. Just because it's different. To, you know, conversation, everything.
And it is just different, you know. All righty, and on that note, shall we finish off?
Sounds good to me.
Thank you for being here for my 100th episode. And
I'm
I think
excited
just a very free-flowing chat. I said to Nikki when this started, I haven't written down any questions, and I'm pretty sure this went for longer than 10 minutes.
Well, you know we're both good talkers.
Oh, yeah, especially with a couple of champagnes under our belt.
I know.
So what we'll do is we'll finish here and we'll finish the bottle.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for the 100th episode of the Peak Endurance Podcast.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.